to all the members and good morning to the members on the other side of the globe. I welcome you all for this today's special meet on Step Up Mentoring Program initiated by the Mentors Group of OU Chemistry Foundation and Alumni Association of Department of Chemistry and organized by the Department of Chemistry, Osmania University. I welcome our Head Department of Chemistry, Professor Bhaskar Garu, the elite mentors and eminent researchers, academicians and entrepreneurs, our alumni group, and my fellow faculty members of the department and the research scholars for this August gathering. Chemistry is all about bonding, and truly that bonding, like an invisible umbilical cord, is holding us all onto this legendary department of chemistry. We owe our careers, our achievements to this majestic institution, and the gratitude of which holds us to it. And many alumni members, in fact, have contributed greatly for the betterment of this institution to hold it at this majestic position always. We are always thankful to those alumni who have contributed, sharing their wealth in monetary form as well as knowledge. Above all, their valuable time in precious time periods and to the department as a whole. Today is another such memorable event in this regard. I invoke the Almighty to bring that radiance and energy to be always with all of us in marching forward. Now, may I request our Head Department of Chemistry, Osmania University, Professor Bhaskar Sir, to give a formal welcome address.
Good morning, everyone, and for Indian friends, good evening to all. I welcome you all on behalf of Department of Chemistry, Osmania University, to today's meet on Step Up Mentoring Program, organized in association with the mentors group of the OU Chemistry Foundation and Alumni Association of Department. It is my privilege to welcome the eminent members of the chemistry alumni who are indeed a great asset to the department. The department is greatly supported by the Alumni Association recently in strengthening the MSc student labs, upgrading the lecture hall to an air-conditioned seminar hall along with UPS backup, etc. Alumni members are in constant reach and support with the department, interacting with the faculty members and students. We greatly appreciate and thank all the members of their constant support. Special thanks to Dr. Parthasarathi Reddy Garu, Dr. M.S.N. Reddy Garu, Dr. Bhaskar Reddy Garu, Dr. Bhaskar Rao Garu, Dr. Ravi Prakash May Reddy Garu, and all other members of the Alumni Association. Department of Chemistry is an integral part of the esteemed institution Osmania University in its stride all through these years. Since its inception a century ago, Department of Chemistry derives its strength from the core values of visionary founders, nurturing hands of eminent educationists at the inception who laid the platform to bring highest quality education to the reach of one and all. Eminent teaching fraternity of the Esther years along with successful alumni made immense contributions in the journey of this August Institute, and it is equally matched by earnestness of the current academic community and vibrancy of young researchers to continue the legacy and take it to the next level. Today's program is yet another stepping stone in taking forward and department alumni cooperative mission for the greater cause in withholding the standards of the renowned Department of Chemistry. Osmania University, the mentors of the alumni group shall enlighten us on the aims and goals of this program in a while. I call up on all the research scholars and also the faculty members to take active participation in this series of programs and get benefited from the suggestions and help extended by the alumni mentors. I thank Dr. Mahender Dewal, today's speaker, for coming forward to address the research scholars and all the alumni members for their noble thought of initiating such a program. I wish this tradition continues further and set goals of association be accomplished. Thank you, one and all. Over to Ari Padmasri Madam.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful address. Now, I request all my fellow faculty members to kindly introduce themselves. I request you all that this is more sort of an informal kind of a meet. Take it as and kindly introduce yourselves to the other alumni members here. All the fellow faculty members who are present. Ananta ma'am, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah. I am Dr. P.V. Anantalakshmi, Assistant Professor in Chemistry, right now in campus. Of course, Dr. Prakash Meredi is my batch. We did a Ph.D. together in campus at the same time. Of course, fortunately, I'm in Osmania University right now. That's it. So on the other way, even myself, I'm OU Almani, chemistry.
Ma'am, about your area of research.
Yeah. I have done research in coordination chemistry, and now also continuing in the coordination chemistry.
Kindly also tell about your area.
Yeah. Yes. Pardon? Padmasri said something.
Yeah, your area. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. My area of research is coordination chemistry.
Ma'am, I asked you to tell about your area.
Profiling studies.
The same thing. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Impurity profiling and all. Till now,
Thank you,
I produced 7 PhDs. And who else are there? Bhavani madam is there. Padmavati madam is there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, Bhavani ma'am. Please unmute yourself. She not there, ma'am.
Yeah, now she's not there.
Yeah.
Padmavati madam. Muralidhar sir. Padmasri, you introduce yourself first.
Ma'am, Padmavati ma'am. Why don't you please introduce?
I'm here. Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Padmasri and Ananta madam, sir, Professor Bhaskar sir and Veeraswamy sir and others. I initially would like to thank mainly the alumni, Dr. Ravi Reddy Garu and Dr. Mahender sir for being here and initiating the program. And this is Dr. Padmavati from Chemistry Department, Osmania University. And I work in the main campus here. And my area of expertise is computational quantum chemistry. And I try to solve in a little way the real-time problems using. Yeah, madam, please, maybe Muralidhar Reddy can say something.
Yeah. Dr. Muralidhar.
So, good evening to all of you. Good evening, sirs and madam, Bhaskar sir and Veeraswamy sir and other Ananta madam, Padmavati madam and our alumni members, Ravi Mereddy sir and for other alumni members. Good evening to all of you. This is Dr. Muralidhar Reddy. So currently I'm working as a Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Osmania University. So my area of the research work is the bioanalytical chemistry and inorganic and material chemistry. But some students, they are also working in the organic chemistry area. So I welcome you all the scholars of the department for this great opportunity to interact with the foreign delegates and particularly our alumni members. Students, you can interact with the Ravi sir and other alumni members. If you have any doubts and about your opportunities in USA or if you have any doubts, you interact with them. Thank you, Haripadmasri madam, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Muralidhar. Bhavani ma'am, can you please unmute yourself and introduce yourself?
Shiv Kumar is also there. Dr. K. Shiv Kumar.
Bhavani ma'am. Yeah. Dr. Shiv Kumar, can you please? And I request any other faculty members present, please unmute yourself and introduce. Hello?
Bhavani madam is facing some net problem, it seems. She ran up and
Oh, yeah, it seems. Okay. Dr. Vijaya Charan?
Padmasri madam, you introduce yourself first.
Okay, ma'am. Haripadmasri. I'm a physical chemistry teacher working at the Department of Chemistry, Osmania University main campus. My area of research work is catalysis, core heterogeneous catalysis. I work on various organic transformations involving heterogeneous catalysts, especially involving sustainable energy, biofuels, biomass conversion, and photocatalysis. I'm also working on use of nanomaterials as catalysts for various processes. So my students are working in these areas, and some of them are also working on metal organic frameworks as heterogeneous catalysts. So I thank all the research scholars for coming forward, and I wish that you continue to take this opportunity, make use of the opportunity, taking advice from the mentors who are with a very noble thought. This is a very good. The thing that they've been doing. So spending their valuable time here. So I request you all to please make use of it. Thank you. Dr. Shivkumar, are you there? Would you like to please introduce yourself? Okay, I think we can also go later if any other members join it. So now I request Dr. Ravi Prakash sir to tell us about this, how and why they, initiated this program. So in his own words, who Dr. Ravi Prakash Reddy garu is, many of us know her for the sake of our students. So he is given in his own words small introduction about him. Sir, of course, an eminent in the field of clinical, chemistry, and he did his MSc and PhD from Osmania University. So he's a proud alumnus of this institution, and he's been a consultant to various pharmaceutical industries. And not only that, on personal front, he's helping many students in training resume interviews. That I know through many follow through the alumni. He's a very good philanthropist. So he has been helping time of COVID, and even that, I think hear from you, sir, about the inception of this program. So I welcome Dr. Ravi Prakash Reddy garu.
Can I go ahead, Padmasree? Dr. Padmasree, can I go ahead? Can I go ahead, Dr. Padmasree?
I think Ravi Prakash, you go ahead. I think you go ahead. She already introduced you.
Thank you very much, one and all. I don't know how many mentors joined in the meeting. I didn't see anyone so far. But I thank Department of Chemistry, Professor Bhaskar Garu, and faculty members, my classmate Dr. Ananta, my senior Dr. Veerasomaya, and Dr. Padmavati Madam, Dr. Muralidhar, and all the other faculty members who joined this meeting. We believe mentoring is a very critical step to nurture the students, and from from the chemistry alumni, we started this program. This is the first mentoring program that we are doing today. We have about 16 mentoring members. Most of them are from US, and some of them from India, who are experts in various fields. Of course, they are all chemistry department product, and they are very happy to interact with students and help them out whatever the way they want to improve their careers, either in the research area or to find the opportunities in the industry. Um, as we all know, Hyderabad itself is a big hub for pharmaceutical industry. So there are a lot of opportunities. Also outside Hyderabad also, a lot of our alumni are in good positions. So our goal is to connect students to these opportunities through these alumni members. So I would like to thank our first speaker of this series, Dr. Mahender. He is a very frequent speaker on many forums, on TV channels also. He was very active in propagating the knowledge of about the coronavirus during this pandemic situation. Also during the pandemic, he attended many university department level meetings and addressed to many students. I am very happy to welcome him to this first alumni sponsored our mentoring sessions. I thank department for supporting this, and I don't want to take a lot of time, and I would like to welcome Mahender to start the session. Thank you, Dr. Padmasri.
Thank you, Ravi Prakash sir. Before I invite Dr. Mahender Garu to deliver his talk, I would like to formally introduce him. So, Dr. Mahender B. Dewal Garu is today's mentor, speaker, first speaker of the series. He is a biotech entrepreneur, biomedical scientist. Currently, is the founding member, head of research and development at Expansion Technologies, Massachusetts, US. He obtained his formal education BSc from Giriraj Government Degree College, Nizamabad, under Osmania University, MSc in Inorganic Chemistry from the Department of Chemistry, OU College of Science, Osmania University, and he obtained his Ph.D. degree in Organic Chemistry from the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry, University of South Carolina, USA. His thesis title being Design, Synthesis and Application of Porous Crystals from bis urea macromolecules. And he has held several postdoctoral fellowships also in medicinal chemistry at the Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Wayne State University, graduate research assistant in organic chemistry from Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry, South Carolina University. He was for a short time, he was also worked as a junior research fellow in bioorganic chemistry at the Biotransformation Laboratory of Dr. Fadnavis from IISc Hyderabad. His research experience about 20 years of in research and development and expansion technologies, Massachusetts. And he led R&D to explore the ISH application of expansion microscopic technology, analysis of various diseases, cancer, renal disease, etc. Contributed immensely, especially in operational chemistry, molecular biology, cell biology, microscopy lab. He optimized the robustness and the product development of expansion microscopy. And at the Massachusetts Institute, he worked on two main projects. The titles have been given over here. And his I'm sorry, there is something wrong with the net connection on my side. Yes. Dr. Mahender Garu, he has published in several reputed international journals such as ACS Infectious Diseases, JOC, Nature Chemistry, European Journal of Medicinal Chemistry, Biochemistry, Journal of American Chemical Society. He obtained 4 US and also other international patents. And his professional achievements goes with in 2008 graduate school summer travel. He obtained the school's summer grant. He's been the school's summer grant winner from University of South Carolina, and he in 2005 to 6 cancer research travel award winner. He was the travel award winner from Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry of South Carolina University. He qualified the NIT examination of CSIR, and he is recognized as the COVID barrier by Karnataka State Ministry of Youth Empowerment and sports, and also the International Human Rights Association for his extensive service on COVID. He's delivered in a number of talks on the COVID-19. We've been seeing in our television shows and the news channels. He's given a series of talks on the TV9, and he's also got teaching experience as a South. Am I audible? Sorry.
Yeah, there
Hello?
was a little disturbance in between. Now you are okay. Now you are audible.
Yeah, thank you. Dr. Mahender Dewal garu, his professional activities, if you look into, he's a peer reviewer for many esteemed journals such as European Journal of Organic Chemistry, European Journal of Medicinal Chemistry, and he's actively involved in the activities of the American Chemical Society. He's a member of Organizing Committee of National Postdoctoral Association, Michigan, Advisory Board member of Wayne State University Postdoctoral Association. He represented Wayne State University Postdoctoral Association at the 10th annual meet at San Francisco. He is the vice president of MIT Ventureships Club, an organization that encourages early stage startup companies. And his voluntary services are immense. He is a part of this USC chemistry, presented chemistry demonstration at Columbia. He's been the judge for junior division at 2008 in science and engineering fair. He was a judge for undergraduate research poster competitions, judge for undergraduate research competition on graduate students research day, and member of organizing of National Postdoctoral Association Beacon, advisory board member of Wayne State University Postdoctoral. With these few words of introduction, I would like to welcome Dr. Mahender Dewal garu to deliver his talk.
Dr. Padmasree.
Sir, I'm stopping this sharing. You may share your PPT.
Yeah, Dr. Padmasree, I just want to introduce, I just saw there are few mentors here. I just want them to unmute themselves and introduce themselves. Dr. Madhavi, Dr. Surya Prakash garu, Dr. Tota Ganesh, can you please introduce yourself quickly, just for 1 minute? Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, namaste to all of you. And I'll be happy to introduce myself in Telugu if that is okay with you guys.
Yes, sir.
Namaste. Nenu Osmania University 1973-75 batch. 73 వరకు 71-73 లో BSc special batch. Osmania University is of course చాలా great university. గ్రేట్ యూనివర్సిటీ ఈ కాలంలో ఇప్పుడు మైరెడ్డి గారి ఇనిషియేటివ్ లో ఈ అలమ్ని అసోసియేషన్ ఫామ్ కావడము, ఒక మెంటర్ గ్రూప్ ఫామ్ కావడము, దానిలో నేను ఇన్వాల్వ్ కావడానికి నాకు చాలా గర్వంగా ఉంది, హ్యాపీగా ఉంది. స్టూడెంట్స్ కి బెనిఫిట్ అయ్యేటట్టు మనం ఏం చేద్దాము అని చెప్పి మనం అనుకుంటే ఈ ఒక్క మంచి ఇనిషియేటివ్ తీసుకోవడం చాలా అవసరం అనిపిస్తుంది. మా కాలంలో అది ఉండేది కాదు, కానీ మా టీచర్లే మమ్మల్ని మెంటల్ గా ఉండేవారు, వాళ్ళే మమ్మల్ని చాలా బాగా చూసుకునేవారు. ఈ కాలంలో కూడా ఇది ఒక మంచి ఇనిషియేటివ్ కిందని భావిస్తున్నాను. ఆల్ ది బెస్ట్. నేను కూడా నాకు వీలైనంత చేద్దామని అనుకుంటున్నాను.
Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Madhavi, are you there? Dr. Ganesh Tota.
Good morning, good evening, everyone. Nice to see you all. Nice to listen to all. I'm Tota Ganesh. Did my Ph.D. from OU Department campus 1999 with Professor David sir. I'm here in Emory University, Atlanta, Georgia, as an associate professor. I'm a medicinal chemist by trade, transformed into medicinal chemist, now neuroscientist. But happy to be part of this mentors program. We will learn more each other as we go forward.
Thank you, Ganesh. Anyone else is there? Dr. Madhavi? I think no one is there. Please go ahead. Dr. Padmasri, Dr. Mahender, I think it's your time.
Sir, thank you all the mentors. Dr. Mahender, sir, would you please?
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Padmasri garu, for such a long introduction. Your kind words. Thank you so much. Yeah, and first of all, I would like to thank Department of Chemistry and my fellow alumni, Ravi Prakash, and my fellow alumni members, and all the volunteer mentors who came forward to help our students. I would like to thank you so much. It's been a bit emotional for me, I couldn't sleep last night thinking about, many things. I went back to my old campus days. It's an amazing and great feeling to get back and connect back to the Department of Chemistry, and and helping somehow. I always had this in my mind. I have to thank Ravi Prakash making me a part of this. So, and like I said, I've been thinking a lot about how to begin this today's session. I decided not to keep it as formal, totally informal, much more informal rather than formal. I don't have any slides to present. I don't want let's make it as a question answer and conversation and a discussion session type of thing. But before we get to that stage, I would like to speak few words. Mostly I thought maybe this is a mentoring session, and students are from various different areas, right? So all different areas, but I'm not an expert in each and every area, so that I can't speak of individual areas. So I thought of taking a first step as a career building, career orientation, how to build a career, what kind of subject to choose. Like just now, Professor Tota Ganesh garu mentioned that he started his career as a organic chemist, and then he transformed into medicinal chemist. Now he's a neuroscientist. So see the journey that we can just see. He's an example. Like we can see that how you can transform yourself into one to another area and be successful. So that's what I would like to focus more, discuss more today, by giving me my journey as an example, and then first my journey as an example, and then I'll go and talk about a few other career-oriented suggestions, advices, and then I'll keep the floor open for more of a panel discussion. Even I welcome the other mentors who are here to speak as well. Excuse me. So there are 4 bullet points that I highlighted in my today's discussion. First, like I said, I just speak my journey, where I started and where I am right now. And it may not be more inspirational. It could be somewhat different. My journey is a little different, but I'll speak on that. Then I'll talk about how to build a good career. A few minutes, I spent a couple of minutes on that. Then what I mean is build a good career means the subject, how to move forward on what I'm doing right now, what we are doing right now, what you are doing as a PhD student. Then I'll talk about what after PhD, what kind of career as a PhD student after PhD I have to pursue. And after that, I'm going to spend a few minutes on talking how to find a postdoc in abroad. Most of the students, like, I think this is one of the probably hot topic for most of the PhD students would like to, find a nice postdoc and then, build career from there as well. So in my journey, like I said, the first bullet point I would like to say is never you're too late to do anything or to achieve your goal. I think Dr. Padmashri Garu, only I'm not visible on the screen. Can you make it as a webinar mode? I think people only see you, not me on there.
Sir, you
Okay.
are visible, sir. I didn't get you.
Okay, thank you. That's fine.
You are unable to
All right.
see? We are able to see you,
Okay,
sir.
got it. Yes, okay, good. All right. So what I'm saying is never too late to achieve a goal. So I started my MSc in organic chemistry. I only started from my master's in 1995. I completed in 97, OU campus, Department of Chemistry. Then after the chemistry, I didn't go straight to the PhD. I took a little gap, couple of years. I mean, I was not quite sure what to do. So then I said, let me take a gap. I went to different professions, different things. Like, I taught, then I spent some time to preparing for some competitive exams, and all that stuff. So then after that, this is all because of not lack of a mentor or a proper guidance, because I was not quite sure what to do after that. Like, I was not picking a smooth career, like, okay, I finished a master's, then I go to PhD and then postdoc, and then I was not really thinking about it. I was thinking what I would like to do what I like. And then, so pretty much I started my PhD almost after 4 to 5 years later of my master's. By the time my peers pretty much completed their PhD, they're kind of started postdoc. So that's why I say, meantime, I got to introduced about this PhD, doing PhD in the US through one of my senior. So I started working on preparing for those exams, like, TOEFL, GRE, and I'm talking, this is a pre-internet, kind of, so pre in the sense, like, just the internet started in 98, 99, 2000 at that time. So I prepared for those exams, and then at that time, it's a long process. It's not 1 month, so it's a multiple months of process. I took the exams, I completed, I applied to the universities. I haven't heard back, and then I said, okay, let me go back and get started with my PhD. So I got the CSR fellowship, went to the IICT, joined there, started my PhD. After 1 year, I got an admission in the US university. Right, then I quit the PhD, IICT, and then started fresh again. I got this admission in a small school in the US, where I came here, and the research was not that great. The research areas are not interesting to me, what I like to do. So then I started thinking about, is this what I wanted to do? This is what I would like to do. Then after 9 months of time, I quit again my PhD twice. Then I found another PhD program in University of South Carolina. That was exciting to me. Then there I started. As Padmashri Garu mentioned, in bismuth urea macrocyclic nanotubular structures, I worked on that. That was very interesting. So I put my entire efforts on that. Then successfully completed my PhD within 4 years of the time span, and published probably 8 to 10 papers during that time, because I liked it. That's why I put my whole efforts in there. I worked hard and completed the PhD successfully. First paper was a JAX, second paper was a JAX, third a JAX. Then that boosted me, my spirit to work hard. Then that's where I started thinking about what should I do after PhD. What's my goal? I started thinking about this when I'm in third year of PhD. So the approach that I took is a little bit different. So I wanted to learn something while I'm doing what I already know. So I trained as an organic chemist with some material science applications, but I would like to learn some biology. I always had my undergrad special major is biology, so I wanted to get into a biology. So I started looking for a postdoctoral position. So if I look for a postdoctoral position for myself in my own area, I probably could find in Harvard, MIT, or Yale, or somewhere else in an Ivy League school. But I wanted to change, learn something. If I come to the same area, I may not get a chance to learn something new, different subject. I may get to learn in the same area, more depth, but I wanted to learn something new, something different subject. So I started looking for tier 2, tier 3 schools, universities. So that's where I found Wayne State University, and then I transformed into a medicinal chemist down there. I started working on developing antibacterial, antiviral agents. While I'm doing this, well, again, this is our synthesis. I'm making them more compounds. I'm giving to a collaborator to test them on the virus and bacteria. But they were taking so long time. I make the compounds, I give them. They're taking so long time. I feel like I'm getting frustrated. I was like, okay, let me learn myself to do this bacterial culture and test my own compound myself. That's where I started learning cloning, bacterial cell culture, running all these page gels, biology pretty much. All the biology I started learning there. That's another. This is what I wanted. While you're doing what you know already, you need to acquire new additional skills. That's how I was thinking, and then I started learning. I even learned some techniques from my juniors, my undergrads. Because I need to learn that. So that's how I completed postdoctoral studies. Then I started looking for a job. This is a tough period at the time. I completed my PhD in 2008, and that's a recession time, and no job market was not that great. So most of friends they're like forcing. A lot of people are saying that hey, there is no good salaries in this field. Why don't you switch your field? Go to the software. Blah 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 like this. Lots of my friends shifted their subject to software to get good job and fun. I said no. I worked so many years to get to this stage. I really would like to stick here. So I started there, and then I didn't want to change my field, and then I like what I'm doing. I enjoyed. So I stuck here, and then I started finding new jobs. Then I got an opportunity from MIT. This is now I'm getting into the Ivy League side, right? As a research scientist. This is completely new area, again, transforming, learning more. I'm doing the synthesis and bacterial cloning, everything, but now I started working with human cells, how to culture the human cells, and studying the synthetic mechanism, biosynthetic mechanism. So I just okay, as a medicinal chemist, I'm designing compounds, doing things, but we need to find the targets. To design a compound or antibacterial agent, you need to find a target to which bacteria it has to eat, or which kind of a mechanism it has to target. Like if you want to cure the cancer biosynthetic pathway, you need to learn. So that's where I started learning at MIT. It's not easy, it's difficult. You have to work a little extra time compared to because nobody's going to pay you to learn. They'll pay you to do the work they wanted. Then you have to spend your own extra time to learn more and more. This is how I designed my career, and it was great experience. Pretty hard, worked hard. And then after that, next step. So what to do? So go and find an industrial job. It was easy. I can find a smooth career. Or there other option is go and start your own startup or something like this. Then if you go and find an industrial, I would go and find an industrial job. It was smooth career, right? You go and you get paid. You don't have to worry about anything. Smooth. You get the monthly paycheck. You get probably promoted step by step based on your performance. Blah blah blah. All these things go. But I picked a little bit difficult career. There I started. I wanted to get into a startup world, where is so many challenges, which I get a chance to learn more again. I met a professor at MIT, and then he and I wanted to join his lab as a director or something, but he said, like, let's get started this company. And then now this expansion technologies, we started the company. It's again completely different area, microscopy with chemistry. we were like, my chemistry skills always there with me, because this is one thing that I learned in my entire career is, if you are a chemist, you can do anything, biology, microscopy, or any other different area. Because I think chemistry is the basic fundamental subject of any areas you go and you reach out. That's what I kind of figured out. So new area, and now here I started working with real human tissues. So like, human cancer tissue, a person who lives alive somewhere, and I'm working with that, like, let's say kidney cancer, like his kidney tissues in my hands. I started working like an analysis using the microscopes in here. I get to learn a lot as well. Not only this, but being in the startup, I had an opportunity to learn the business side. How can you pitch your ideas to an investor? How can you convince a partnership deal with a major pharmaceutical companies? This is another new area that I had to learn. So, I mean, by speaking all my journey, what I would like to say is, you need to learn while you're doing what you know. Never stop learning new things. That's what is, if you stop learning, that means your growth will be stopped right there. This is I picked a challenging career. I'm not asking you to pick a challenging career, but keep something challenges you most of the time, so that you keep working and you keep growing. And during all this time, I was very optimistic. Whatever I was working on, I worked hard, and I always think positive. And then I had faith in what I'm doing. So, and one most important thing is, I never compared with myself to my friends, my peers who are already way ahead of me, are already more successful and more richer than me. So this is what I found, and then I came to this part in this stage today, where I am right now. So, and I'm happy. But what I would like to message here is, I picked what I wanted to do. I decided what I would like to do. Not somebody else told me. Just somebody else has guided me only. So love what you're doing, what you want to do. That's what I would like to say to a PhD student, whoever come to me, any students or any PhD or masters or undergrads, anybody comes to me, I say, like, you have to love what you're doing. If you don't, then you will never be happy. You will be frustrated all the time. Like, you do something that you don't like without any interest, you will never be happy. Even it's a PhD or it's a subject, it's an organic synthesis, it's medicinal chemistry or neuroscience, it doesn't matter. You have to go in there. Right. So this is the journey, and as I mentioned, first is never you are too late to do anything to achieve your goal. The second is never stop learning new things. And now I speak about how to build a good career, right? So I mean, this is my thinking process. I'm not going to enforce this into anybody, any student here. I'm trying to say that you stand on your feet, you think with your own brain. But take this as an example. So what I would like to say is, be unique what you're doing. Something, it's for one point is to be unique to yourself, so that you stand out among the crew, among the group, so that you'll be successful in future. And try to be independent, as I mentioned, right? The second thing is, as a PhD student, you need to read a lot. Reading is the best thing to do. That's what I figured out. And update yourself with the new technologies. Technologies are changing very rapidly nowadays compared to 20 years ago, right? New research trends. Now internet is there, network, right? You have a plethora of information available to read, right? For example, for chemistry students, try to be a member of American Chemical Society. I don't know how expensive is that in India. They certainly provide a tremendous amount of career guidance, updates. They actually release a bi-weekly booklet, which is called Chemical Engineering and News. If you read that, you will able to see new research trends in chemistry, biology. Where is the chemistry going? Where is the research trends are going? Something similar to that. If you can read, like spend a couple hours a week on this kind of magazines, so that you can update it yourself in your career as well as in your future. And second thing is Science magazine. They also have, I'm not talking about the journals, the magazine. They highlight some research areas every 2 weeks or every week. Nature also has the same thing. The Cell paper has the same. These are a very high profile, which covers next 10 years future technologies that are going to grow in next 10-20 years. These are the things that we need. We can think about presence, but we have to always think about future. We have to foresee the future. Presence, you are doing it, put some thoughts, but more thoughts into towards future. What's going to happen tomorrow? Think about that. That's where your growth comes from. And the third point I would like to say, acquire multiple skill sets. As I mentioned, you have to have a zeal of learning more and more and more. Multiple skill sets, such as just, let's say organic synthesis is amazing. As I mentioned, chemistry is the basic subject for everything, right? But if you have additional skill set that makes you to stand out of the group, and then you will be like more, your resume, your CV will be picked up by anything. You will be standing out of the group. So learn as many skills as you can. Let's say you're collaborating with you're a PhD student, you're doing metal catalysis or something, metal catalyst synthesis or something, or medicinal compound, antibacterial compound, but you're giving it to your collaborator. Try to interact with them. Learn. Try to get an overall idea. It's not that I made a compound, I gave it to them, they did the studies, and then I go and present. No, that's not that. You have to understand what they are doing, why they are doing, how they are doing. If you know that knowledge, and you'll be much more confident in speaking and explaining what you're doing, and then that makes you first candidate to be like job opportunity or any kind of opportunity, right? And but these are the two things. Next two things I'm going to say is standard things, which is think big and aim for big. At least you'll get in certain level. Always think like try to hit the big task. The third, the other one is always prepare. I know think big is good, but prepare for the worst. You may not achieve it, but whatever you must be happy with whatever you achieved when you are liking and loving what you're doing. Right. So these are the things that I would like to speak on career building side. And feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions. I'm happy to. Again, I said, let's make this informal, not formal. Unmute yourself and stop me and then ask a question while I'm speaking as well. I hope I'm not boring you, anybody. A couple of more, few more points that slides I have that I would like to speak is next is how to build my good career or what kind of research area I have to go. Because I explained my journey, why, because I wanted to do that, I liked it, right? But there are lots of students when they're in the first year, second, third, fourth year of the PhD, they have a lot of confusion. Okay, I'm doing this. What is tomorrow? Again, they need guidance. Of course, their advisors, their guides, the PhD guides are there. They will do. Also, you need some external guidance, which will help you to think out of the box. Not only what you are doing, you need to think out of the box to get more additional skill set or additional qualifications, additional thoughts. So what I would like to say is when you're doing the research, focus on the application-oriented research. Of course, the students, some students, first thing you have to decide yourself is like, what would you like to be? A technician or a scientist? There is a large difference between these two positions. I'll come to that later. But focus on application-oriented research. Just let's say I'm making the compounds, I'm giving the collaborator. No, some collaborator, but what kind of application is material science applications or medicinal chemistry applications, biochemistry applications, chemical biology applications? You have to think about that research area. It's not like, my PhD guide gave me a reaction scheme that I'm going to make this molecule in 20 steps, 30 steps, I'm done. No, it's not like that. You have to think like more scientifically by yourself. My PhD advisor gave me 30-step scheme. Can I make it to 25 steps? You have to think that's where your scientist comes out of you. That's how you need to focus. And then if your PhD advisor asks you to focus on the cancer research, then you also have to think about, can I apply this compound into any additional fields, not only cancer, but also can I cure the COVID, something like that, right? So in the application-oriented research, there are two areas mostly for the chemistry students, which is pharmaceutical applications. Second is material science applications. In the pharmaceutical applications, it comes again, these are the broad areas: diagnostics, therapeutics, therapy and treatment. So let's say diagnostics. Now I'll take two topics only. So I'm not going to take too much time. Current, we hear RT-PCR all the time, right? There are fluorescence chemical dyes are being used in the RT-PCR technology made by a chemist. So that's another area. It's like a diagnostic site. There are so many molecules that are being used in this kind of a diagnostic test. And I don't know, you may have heard or not, but PET scan, PET, positron emission tomography scan, which is used for the cancer scanning. PET scan, FDG, a sugar molecule is being very commonly used. Fluorescently modified deoxyglucose, FDG sugar. And there are so many other derivatives of this are being used. Again, this is diagnostics, right? This is an application area. I'm giving examples. I'm not suggesting only focus on this. These are the examples I'm giving, right? And recently, the COVID drug 2DG, I think you may have heard about that, deoxyglucose. That's came. See, so this is a novel thinking. It's being used in a PET scan, but somebody thought that we can use it for the COVID treatment. They tried it and it worked, right? And the second is therapeutics. As small molecule therapeutics. There's always there. I mean, Lipinski rule of 5. It's been 20, 30 years. Chemistry is going to be always there, but now new trends are coming. We have to keep an eye on that too. For example, from past 20 years, therapeutic area has drastically changed. Peptide therapeutics, protein therapeutics, like antibodies are coming into the market as a treatment options, not only the small molecules. It used to be only small molecules, natural products, blah, blah, blah. All these things used to be there, but it's been drastically changing. Protein therapeutics, the antibodies, as I mentioned. Again, let's take the latest example, which is a COVID-19 treatment, antibody cocktail from Regeneron, recently being approved in India, right? Carciverimab and imdevimab. These two those are the antibodies, protein therapeutics. They're not small molecules. So these are the new areas. Gain some knowledge into it as well. It's not only just like what you can learn more. You don't really have to do it, but if you have the knowledge, then you can focus on these as well. There's an opportunity to improve yourself. That's what I'm saying. And the third one is nucleic acid therapeutics, DNA, RNA therapeutics. The best example is the vaccines, current vaccines, mRNA-based vaccines. From past 20 years, it's been lots of research has been going on, but today they were successful. Nobody has 20 years ago, people were not even had an idea that RNA can be used as a drug molecule to treat something, and viral vectors are being used, the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, to deliver the gene. The gene therapy, gene editing, again, therapy and treatment side. Now, not only just you're treating the injection or your tablets are not only the options anymore at the moment. The trend is changing very drastically. Even though they are there, they're going to be there always. But just keep an eye on the other trends as well, like gene therapy is coming. Fixing the genes. Take a gene out of your body, fix it, put it back in your body. This is coming in. Gene editing, gene therapies are coming more and more. Gene delivery. So let's say there's a gene that treats some kind of abnormality. For example, sickle cell anemia or beta thalassemia. There's a defect in that particular gene. It's not expressed very well. That's why young kids have some problem in the blood. If we can deliver that gene, give that gene out from outside, then he will be fine, right? So this kind of therapies are coming. Just keep and I would say it's keep a lookout, and then to new technologies. Keep an eye on the new technologies. That makes you a complete scientist. Now I'm going to talk about what after PhD. What kind of career I have to pursue. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Just briefly, I speak. There are multiple options you have: academic career, industrial career, and a government career. As a researcher, as a scientist, you can do in the government also, not like a teacher job or any other job. In the government also, you can do some research. There are some research labs, government agencies as well there. In the teaching academic profession, there are two options. You only go and do teaching, you go teach. It's all up to us, right? What you will be happy with, what you will love, what you like. Some people love teaching, yes. Me, I myself too. I love teaching as well. I love research as well. So only teaching or only research job. Some people only have few friends. They don't want to teach. They just want to focus on sit on the bench, go and do some reactions, and then focus on inventing new things. They like that, but don't want to teach it. Some people, they like both, a part of the teaching, part of the research. So it's up to you. You can try either. So again, think about what you will be happy with. The second is industrial career. So in industry, this is where you have to decide, you want to be a technician or you want to be a scientist. There is a clear difference. A technician always does what his boss says, his advisor says. He takes instructions from his advisors, he just manually go and do it. A master's student can do it, a PhD can do it. And he stays there only. There is no growth after that. If you really want to grow, then you don't want to be a technician. Then you want to be a scientist. He takes the instructions from his boss, but he modifies them. He thinks independently to make it better and then improve it, whatever the technique or whatever the subject. So that's what is a scientist. There's a growth. Then you can never be a scientist only. You can go to a director and head and vice president, president, like that. There's a growth for a scientist. That's another career. The government lab. So here in the US, I have an idea that FDA, CDC, NIH, National Institute of Health, Food and Drug Administration, all these Center for Disease Control and Administration, all these government agencies, there are multiple career options. I'm pretty sure in India also, I'm not very much familiar in India, but there are some government agencies like this. You have multiple options for chemists. Chemists are always everywhere, trust me. Research options are there. Administration side also, there are so many options. Some people think that I did a PhD, masters. I don't want to go out to the bench. I take the administration. Make the rules. Formation of the rule. I'll participate in formation of the guidelines, rules in this government agency, so that it helps people. That's another opportunity. Or a desk job. You administer people. All the paperwork. The third one is the research. You still in the government agencies, people does a lot of research as well. Clinical labs, clinical trials labs. There's so many options out there. So you can pick one of these as well. And the last topic that I'm going to discuss, am I in the time? Shall I stop here or can I continue for another 5 minutes?
Yeah, please continue, sir. Please continue.
Sure. Okay, thank you. Sure. So the last topic is how to find a postdoc in abroad. There are a few bullet points that I would like to highlight and focus on. First thing is by just applying for a postdoctoral job, you find a lab and apply for it. How can you do this? And the second is find a postdoctoral research fellowship, a grant. These are the two main areas that I will focus. So straight applications is, there are a few things that you need to keep in mind. The first point is network and connections. I always tell many people, many students, everybody come to me, be nice with your friends, your colleagues, especially with your colleagues. You're in a research lab with 5 other fellows, be nice with them. Make friendship only. No, you never know who is going to end up which position, which lab tomorrow. That connection is going to certainly help you to get to your next position. That's most important. Second thing is internet. Internet, I mean, it's full of information. You can utilize however you want. Email, LinkedIn, ResearchGate, Facebook, Twitter, even Facebook, Twitter. Recently for my lab, we tweeted for a job opportunity. I got hundreds of applications just on Twitter. I'm looking for someone. Nowadays, you can find opportunities everywhere. And you can find other information. You don't want to focus on. If you are career oriented, you can find information anywhere on the internet. And there are some job websites like postdocjobs.com. Even Nature, Science, Cell, all these publications, they also have a separate job portals like naturejobs.com, sciencejobs.com. And LinkedIn is a big source, right? When I was applying for the jobs, there was no LinkedIn at all. Nowadays, there's so much information you have available on the internet network. And in the US, universities themselves also have their own job portals. If you go to university website, all you need to have the patience, time, sit down in front of the computer, patiently go look for things. This is the one first in the straight application. So the second thing is preparing an application is most important thing. An application packet has many things in there. A CV, a resume. It's very, very important. It's basically representing you. That paper is representing what you are, a resume or CVs. The second thing is a cover letter. I know many people doesn't focus on this cover letter. Cover letter is you are saying on a paper what you want to be, what you are, what you would like to be, what you would like to do. This is very, very important in convincing a postdoctoral advisor. These two are very, very important. Probably I'm not going to spend time on this thing. I just said sometime in future we may need some kind of a panel discussion on how to make a good CV, good resume, how to write a good cover letter. We can spend another session on that next time in future. But I'm happy to answer questions after I finish, if you have any on this topic as well. And the third one on the state application is presentation/interview. How good you are at. So in the interview, one thing that I would say is, if you don't know the subject, say I don't know. If you don't know the answer to your question, say I don't know. Or you can say my best guess is so and so, but don't lie. It represents entire your process. So and say, if you know the answer, say it confidently in the interview, and learn a good presentation skills. This is another topic as well for our panel discussion in future sessions. How to create a good presentation, how to present yourself, how to get rid of the stage fear. All these things are also most important. We can detailedly discuss in future sessions as a mentoring program. The second thing is finding a postdoctoral fellowships. Now, when I was applying this fellowships, not me, many times, like 20, 25 years ago, we do not know there are so many opportunities, like fellowship opportunities, grant writing opportunities. The government, the philanthropic agencies, they fund you, so you're getting your own money. So you're the boss to your own postdoctoral fellowship. There are so many. The opportunities were not known very well because of the communication was not there. But now internet is there. So many fellowships are international fellowships. You can go to many different countries. I highlight a couple of them in here. Is Fulbright scholarship. It's a Fulbright. There's a philanthropy agency. Welcome Trust Agency, Welcome Trust Funds. There are so many postdoctoral and postdoctoral, pre-doctoral, even doctoral fellowship opportunities are also there. And DART fellowship for the Germany. DART fellowship. It's a German. Okay. The DART fellowship, if you want to go for a doctoral or postdoctoral opportunities for the Germany. And another thing is HFSP, Human Frontier Science Program. They also have many postdoctoral fellowships. These are, I'm just highlighting a few of them that I know of, but I'm going to post some links in the chat group that gives you much more information about where to search, where to find all these kind of fellowships for you to apply for these. To apply these, you need to have what is it called? Proposal writing skills or grant writing skills. If you have to write what kind of research area you would like to focus on, and you have to like a formal proposal, then submit to them. They will fund if they like it. So this is how you need to apply for these fellowships. Again, the proposal grant writing is a big topic. We can focus in future sessions. Whoever is the students are interested, even you know in the mentoring program, many other very experts in this signed up for this mentoring program who has successfully got so many grants. They can advise on this, how to write a grant, how to write a successful grant or a research proposal or a postdoctoral proposal. And once you get to the US, there are additional opportunities are there too, only for the people who is working in the research in the US, say from National Science Foundation, National Institute of Health, Department of Energy, many postdoctoral opportunities, American Heart Association. There's so many of them are there. So you need to find opportunities. You need to, you need to focus on these. These are also, there are opportunities available. That's what I'm saying. I think this is what I would like to say. Again, thank you so much for letting me speak today. It's my pleasure to connect with my Department of Chemistry, fellow students, professors. Very nice to meet you all. It's a privilege for me today to connect with you back, and then I'm happy to mentor, answer any questions today, in future as well. Please ping me, in various medias through this mentoring program as well. Thank you so much. Happy to answer the questions if you have any.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request the scholars, the students, to kindly interact with Dr. Mahender Dewal. Yeah, you can unmute yourself and can ask your questions. Yes, please. The very purpose of this program is interaction. So kindly come forward.
Hello, ma'am. I have a doubt.
Yeah, please introduce yourself first and then unmute.
Hello. Yeah, a very good evening to everyone and to Mahender sir. I'm Tejasvi. Have done my chemistry in the specialization of inorganic from Osmania University. Sir, I was very much impressed with your profile and your talk. I want to know what new developments in chemistry excites you the most?
It's an amazing question, Tejasvi. Thank you. Great question.
I want to know in your view which sides of which areas of chemistry need to be developed.
Wonderful. Great question. Yeah, chemistry, again, I mentioned in my talk that, it is the fundamental science of every application. Even biology, biochemistry is there, right? People, when you talk to a biologist, he thinks about like when you say sugar, he just comes into the it's a sugar for him, SUGAR. But for us, you think about a chair structure, all these hydroxyl groups, and that's a chemist. That's how the chemist thinks, right? The areas of the chemistry right now I mentioned, right? The gene therapy. How can a chemist helps in the gene therapy, gene editing? When you say gene therapy, nucleotides, a gene made up of nucleotides, right? And nucleotides are nothing but a chemistry, right? So right now it's in the beginning stage. We are using the standard nucleotides. Maybe in future, modified nucleotides. Modified genes means modified nucleotides. How come we can help deliver, making even efficient genes compared to the genes that we already have? Probably that's another one area. And what is your second question? Can you repeat that?
Sir, is almost similar. Which?
Okay, what excites me, right? What excites me in the chemistry? You said that was your first question, right?
New developments in chemistry excites you the most.
Yes, exactly. Every new development, I would say, right? Like I said, I try to keep myself up to date. Something new, interesting coming out. Let's say organ transplantation, right? Right now, we can transplant the organs from human to humans, human organs to humans. Why not from animals to humans? There are problems because there are some genes that are not compatible with the humans, the animals have, that are not compatible with the humans. How can we knock them out? How can we remove them? Chemically, biologically? This is a new area that recently I came across, and then I started thinking about and started reading about this. So these kind of things excites me. Something new, like you think something different, not traditional way you do things, but you think something different. How can you do this in a differently rather than traditionally?
Sir, student who has their life sciences in their graduation and chemistry in their masters can only go to this medicinal biology, biochemistry fields, having chemistry as a base, or anyone who has masters in chemistry.
Great question. Yeah, so it all depends on, again, I spoke about this in a few minutes ago, right? It all depends on what would you like to do. You can do computational chemistry as well. The computational chemistry is nothing but molecular modeling or something else. But always, whatever the fundamental biology you learn, fundamentally chemistry you learn in masters is going to help you, right? Because it's going to be there. But again, say, I was trained as an inorganic chemist. Right now, I'm doing something completely different than what I learned as an inorganic chemist. I did my PhD in organic chemistry, then material science applications, and I came into medicinal chemistry, making antiviral, antibacterial agents. And then when I was at MIT, I worked with mammalian cells. Not only, I forgot to mention that I worked with the viruses as well, virology. I worked making viruses at MIT. So, but my biology in my undergrad helped me to understand what I'm doing that, because I enjoyed that doing. Like, I worked with various different types of viruses, flu viruses, HCMV, human cytomegalovirus, and the HIV virus, all these kind of viruses. Adenoviruses, making vectors, all that stuff I worked with. But if you are, it all depends. Like, let's say you're going into a different area. Your undergrad is biology and your master's is chemistry. You want to do something mathematics, I wouldn't recommend it probably, right? It's going to be quite different. But something related to it, chemical biology, biochemistry, or something else, then these fundamentals will help you to grow and think differently. Think again. Nowadays, interdisciplinary science, multidisciplinary chemistry, multidisciplinary science is becoming more and more prominent in future, because any research group or anybody is not doing just one thing. Like, synthetic group is not doing synthetic. They're doing something else as well. Each individual having multiple areas. So interdisciplinary research, think about like out of the box, think something different. And like, that comes by reading new knowledge, like I mentioned, chemical engineering and news, science magazine, all these. If you read, you'll get new thoughts, new ideas, what's going on there, and then what you're doing, you can combine those two. So that's how you can think out of the box. I hope I answered your question. Makes sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. There is one Mr. Manoj
Yes.
from Mahatma Gandhi University. Can you please unmute yourself and ask the question, Mr. Manoj?
Some of the students joined on YouTube, probably,
Sure.
I don't know.
In.
But anyway, just...
he posted on the, sir, Dr. Mahender, sir, if you can look into the chart, he posted the question on the chart section.
Oh, I can see that. I can see that, yeah, in the chat section. Also, whoever is watching on the YouTube, they can post comments on the comments box, so that their questions on the comments box as well.
Okay.
So Mr. Manoj is asking here. The Manoj is asking question in the chat box in Zoom. He's MSc Pharma Chemistry from MGU Nalgonda, and I want to work in abroad, US or Europe, in pharma sector, R&D, ARD department. So how can I get job in abroad? Please, can you give the answer? Okay, so his microphone is not working. That's why he was not able to ask. I mean, I think I mentioned in my talk, my discussion about, you need to find an opportunity. I mean, first you need to decide what kind of job. It's not just a job. You need to find a research area. It's a pharma, it's a very broad pharma company or job or something. First, you need to find an area. You need to look for either it is a postdoctoral position, is it an industrial job, what kind of paperwork problems it has. Postdoc, is it postdoc straightforward? Is it a job straightforward? When you're talking about abroad, the very first thing comes into picture is the visa, right? The paperwork is going to create many issues, right? So you have to think in a multi-perspective. It's just not like a straight job. I mean, you can apply let's say in India, you can go and work in a different state. That's straightforward. But when you go out of India, there's so many other things come in mind, come in the way. So you need to think about that as well. And again, internet. I provided some resources in the chat window. Search for them, look for them as well.
Hello, sir.
Well,
hello, sir.
Yeah.
I think Professor Ganesh wants to say something.
Yeah, I just want to add comment that my dear students and scholars, obviously listeners here, Dr. Dewal, Mahender Dewal touched various topics that are relevant for your preparation. It touched upon the character of a scientist and career opportunities and exciting fields, where to look resources. Basically, I wanted to just thank you so much, Dr. Dewal, for setting the stage and helping the students. It's very useful. I just wanted to add one point here that, students, sooner you recognize that until masters is one kind of study and after masters a different kind of study. If you call it as like a coursework. Until masters, teachers will teach you, lecturers will teach you, you go and read the book and pass the exam. But after that, if you are entering into after master's studies like PhD or scientific thing, you need to ask yourself what you are up to. You can even look at the definition of scientist in the library, in dictionaries. It requires your openness to read what is out there, openness to understand what else needed, openness what you can do it, and archive what is there, and then move and then make a difference from there. So it does not really matter whether what you have done in undergraduate level and what you have done in the master's level. You could be a physical chemist but do organic chemistry. You can be an organic chemist, do physical chemistry research. You could switch the field. When we were doing organic chemistry in Osmania University, there was across street, there was a biochemistry department. I hope still there. I was synthesizing molecule, and there was a technician, Munna Swami, used to test the compound for bacterial activity. I asked him, how does he do? He simply said, I'll take some bacteria, throw it in the dish and put some food and throw the compounds on top of it and see if the bacteria kills. That's what it requires. Then it makes you curious. Hey, is that simple? Then why can't I grow the bacteria and put it in my petri dish and then, test my compound? So that's how it requires. And of course, what it more requires is that see how far in a particular field research has been done and what else you can do there. Once you develop eligibility, once you develop the qualification that you are eligible to do research, eligible to do a job in abroad, I think you will find a way. You will find a way. The visa things and all will come definitely hurdles, but those hurdles will become smaller once you yourself eligible, curious, keen to take up some challenging jobs. So we will talk more about it. But I really thank you, Dewal and Ravi Prakash Mareddy for providing this, atmosphere and media to discuss all these options.
Yes, I mean, see, just now, Dr. Ganesh, I'll just mention himself is an example. He was curious on learning what his compound's doing in the bacteria. This is what curiosity. I mean, again, what he said is absolutely right. You prepare yourself, you'll find a way. I mean, the bureaucracy is, you can deal with that later. But the primary thing is you prepare yourself, you get ready, and mentally and psychologically, all aspects, and prepare, especially scientifically yourself. Then absolutely you can find a job anywhere.
Yeah, I just want to add one more thing. If any pharmaceutical student, especially I think from Mahatma Gandhi University, many pharmaceutical students join here. If you are interested in the area of clinical trials, please have your teacher, Dr. Prashanti, to connect to me. I will be able to help you guys in that area. And also, we will continue this series of introducing mentors and their research areas and what is their advice to you. And you can pick your mentors as we go, as you see your mentors. So pick your mentors and they will do one-to-one consultation to you to guide in your career path. So we are all here to help you, and they will do one-to-one consultation once you pick your mentor. Thank you.
Thank
Any
you,
other
sir.
questions?
There is one more person,
Hello.
Krishnaveni, in the
madam.
chat. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, please introduce us.
Hello, sir. Good evening, all of you. Good evening, sir.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead, Govardhan.
Sir, good evening, sir. So after came through your journey, sir, Mahender, sir, it's very inspirational and
Thank you.
motivated us. So I just have finished my PhD in computational chemistry. I did with my PhD postdoctoral work with Dr. P. Sarita Rajendra, Department of Chemistry, Nizam College, Osmania University. I have done my research work on identification of new molecular entities for diabetes mellitus using in silico techniques. Sir, is there is any good postdoc opportunities for in abroad from this work?
Of course, of course, there are many opportunities there. Of course, there are many opportunities out there. All you need to do is you need to find where. I just pasted some links in the chat window. I think it's there, accessible to everyone. Look in there, the fellowship opportunities. I mean, and I also mentioned about the various. Now you're fortunately you're lucky that there is an internet. You can find many things anywhere else. Like let's say like you have done a wonderful job. Modeling compounds for the diabetes mellitus. Yes, you got a skill set, a wonderful skill set, absolutely. And you need to narrow it down, finding the suitable position by patiently sitting in front of the computer and researching. You have done research so far in this chemistry side. Now you have to start researching on finding your opportunity, right? So many things are there. I mean, like I said, postdocjobs.com. Many things will be posted there. Sciencejobs.com, naturejobs.com, all these journals, scientific journals. I think, I'm not, a library provides this, I believe, in OU campus. I think, one of the greatest places on campus I liked is the library, the great place. You can find many things over there. I don't know about right now. It's 20 years ago. There was, we initiated a computer there to prepare for TOEFL and GRE. I remember 20 years ago. At that time, there was like a pre-internet. Just internet started. Myself and a couple of my friends, we requested the librarian and then the authorities to get a computer CDs for the preparing for GRE and TOEFL at that time. I think now probably developed even better. Even I think in our department there is a library, small library is there. I don't know what is the situation at the moment now about that library, because I used to go and sit in there to read books over there too. So I think digitalization is there. So all I would like to say is you spend time finding the opportunity on the network, internet, and then like I said, LinkedIn is there. There's so many opportunities you can find. You have narrowed them down to your field, your area, and you connect with me offline. If you say you have questions about, like, again, this is a mentoring program, right? Come connect with me, and then you have to come up with like 20 of these. Yes, sir, I found these things. Which one should I pick, or which one I should try? Then we are there to advise on that thing. But without you doing anything, can I have a job? Or nobody is going to be there. It's your job. You need to start finding time, spending time, and then researching it. You have to lead your own. That's what I would like to say.
Thank you, sir. And
if anybody else, Ravi Prakash and Ganesh, please jump in and then advise on this question as well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Nicely said. Yeah, as Dr. Dewal was saying, you just need to identify the specific area where you have developed these computational skills and look to see which laboratory by chance has been working on that particular target, that particular disease, that particular type of work. If they are, you formally approach them with what kind of problem solving skills you do have. I think it will not be that difficult. We will be obviously Dr. Dewal and me will be able to share you if you really need, but you need to really narrow down what is your skill set, where those skill set will be useful in that computational area.
Yeah, and another thing that I would like to add is, I think, preparing a CV and resume and writing a cover letter plays a very good role in, finding good opportunity. We will mentor on that areas as well. Happy to. I mean, in future, Ravi Prakash, I think we should conduct some sessions on that as well. Even presentation skills. These are most important. When I came from India, I learned everything in here itself. Slowly when I didn't know anything PowerPoint. I started with those, the screens on a what do you call it? Probably Ganesh. What do you say? Overhead projector.
Overheads.
Right.
Yeah, overheads.
Yeah, overhead. Yeah. That's what I mean. I used to write down my chemical structures. That's where I started, and then slowly learning the PowerPoint. Now you are already there. You're way ahead of what we were, like way back. So we will conduct sessions, but even also as a mentoring program, I'm happy to advise on this thing, Govardhan. Or any other students, whoever is interested, connect with us.
Thank you, sir. Sir, if someone wanted to be in the academics, so what are the opportunities, sir, in a wider way?
That's a great question. Yes, absolutely. Ganesh, you want to address, or you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of opportunities. If you really want to be an academic, obviously there are two types, as Dr. Dewal was saying, that there are teaching academics, purely teaching, purely research, and there is an intermediary, like a hybrid. If you want to do both, it's really little more challenge because you have to justify both the fields. You have to have time for preparation of teaching class, time for preparation of doing the research. So there will be enormous opportunity. Nowadays, even in India, they opened this NIPER type of institutes, like you only used to be IITs before. Now there are pharmaceutical institutes came. A lot of teaching as well as research is happening there. So you will have a lot of opportunity. Even in US, I think first you need to come in here, then you settle, then you will have it a little more time-taking process. But I would say in India, there are a lot of opportunities. A lot of my friends went back and joined as faculty in some of these institutes I'm talking.
And also, I would like to add a couple more points to what Dr. Ganesh said. Yeah. IITs, the new IITs, there are new institutions are coming out where you can not only teach but also do some research. There are so many IITs are there, right? So these kind of institutions are educational as well as even in the universities also, many professors are doing the research as well as the teaching. First, you need to decide what you would like to do. Only teaching, only research, or both. So then you can find an opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Hello. Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, Prof. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, myself. I'm Sheikh Baji Baba. I completed my master's degree from Mahatma Gandhi University, Nalgonda in pharmaceutical chemistry. So recently, I was joining PhD in University of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. So I have few doubts in this research field. Can I ask few questions?
Please go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So in my experience, in my small experience, I have faced one issue. After doing some computational studies or docking studies, we are not getting good biological activities of our synthesizer compounds. It means there is a fault in software, and it means software issue or our synthesis issue. It means methodology issue we have. That is one question. And second question, how can we use that methodology or that compounds to any other applications? Means we can use some. If I was synthesized recently anti-cancer agents based on my docking studies or some other, but my compound showing less activity. So how can I complete that work? Means.
Okay.
Hello?
Sure. Are you done with your questions?
And second question is, for postdoc position, how they will consider my application? It means it based on publications or it based on my research activity? And my third question is, after reaching here, I have received one opportunity from Australia, one of the top 30 university for PhD. The professor invited me for PhD. So what can I reply for him? Means I am already doing PhD in here recently, but that compared to university ranking and professors, he's the one of the top university. It means top 35 universities, and compared to professor field, he's more active in research. So how can I respond him? So these three questions are from my side.
Sure. So first of all, congratulations for securing a PhD position. It's an achievement already for you, right? So I can answer some general answers, but you ask some specific questions to you only, how to answer the Australian professor. We can, one-on-one, we can discuss more in detail later on if you want to connect with me, but I'll answer some general questions. The first question is about the computational chemistry. You design a compound, and then you go and test it on a bacteria and it won't work. Well, and there's a problem. Is it a problem with the software? Is it a problem with the bacteria? That's what your question, right? It's a great
Yes,
question.
sir.
So think about it. Computers, you're designing, everything looks beautiful, excellent, right? It docks very well, and then it fits like, a lock and key perfectly, right? But when it comes to the real system, the computation, everything you're doing in the vacuum. There's no buffers. There's no media. There is nothing in there, right? But when you come to
Yes,
the real system, our body, our bacteria, or a living organism, there are so many dynamic processes are going in there, right? And those dynamic processes are not there in the computer. You're just one process. You took your target molecule, you took the target protein, and you took the molecule, you designed, you docked them in there. Everything is doing in the vacuum. There's no even solvent in there, right? When you're making the compound. So what I would like to say is that computational studies they're like shedding some light. They show a way to design a compound, but it's not the only thing. There's a confidence level you can get to, like, X amount of confidence level you can get. But in the living organism, there are so many other processes going on. Who knows? Maybe it's working perfectly fine on the target line, but maybe it's not delivered properly to the target. We have no idea, number one. Number two, probably it's already, before it is even going into the target, it's probably digested by some enzymes in the body, removed because it's what you call its stability is not sufficient. There's so many things. But back in the days when we used to do the drug discovery, when there was no computers, we used to do some random modifications, right? Which is called derivatization, probably, right? Hey, let's hydroxyl has a hydrophilicity. Let's change it into the different amine has a different hydrophilicity. Somehow, like this kind of random, that's how like Lipinski rule of 5 came in, right? That's how we used to design. But now we have some kind of a visualization model, computational model, which gives more confidence. But we cannot take exactly 100% confidence that it's exactly is going to go and work in the biological system. There may be so many things going on in the biological system. That's to answer your first question. And your second question is, what was your second question? Can you repeat it?
If those compounds are not getting good cancer activity, then how can I apply?
And then how can you
what
test on the
test
different
we
ones,
can
right?
do?
That's a great question.
Yeah,
Yes.
because
Yes, yes, good.
we design
So
based on our
nowadays,
docking study.
I got it. Yes, I got the question. See, I'll give an example. Nowadays, there are so many screening platforms are developed. So depending upon the target, one best example I can give you is, for example, the COVID-19, SARS coronavirus, right? For COVID-19, we got this drug molecule called remdesivir, which is showing activity, which came out from a screen. The remdesivir was not developed to treat the COVID-19. It was developed to treat other viruses, which is Ebola, and it has a broad spectrum to treat various different viral infections. But it was screened for the COVID-19 on a screening platform, and then this was a hit. It's called drug repurposing program. This is called a drug repurposing program, where you take the compounds that you have already and screen against that disease, or that is infectious agent, or that anything in the body. So these platforms are available right now. That's how, for example, if you take the Pfizer, they have a 1.5 million compound library. So right now, this kind of a slowdown on synthesizing new compounds. And whenever a new disease or new thing comes in, they screen all these 1.5 million compounds first, find a skeleton, or at least a skeleton. And probably you may know, computationally, you also find a skeleton, and based on that, you build a molecule, and then you dock into it, probably, right? So there are platforms available to screen all various cancers, or infectious diseases, or any virus, bacteria. So based upon the target, if you go do some research, you will find. And again, Google is the best place to go to find the first thing, anything to find research related. Just you type your word, you get a bunch of information, and then you slowly sit down, and then always people like us will always guide you on the are you going in the right direction or not? And the third question, how to respond to it. It's all this totally kind of you. I spoke about half an hour in the beginning. Think about what you like to do, what you love to do, and love what you are doing, what you want to do. Then you have an answer how to respond to that professor. It's not about it's a top 35, top blah, blah. It's not about that. Are you going to be happy if with the research area that that professor is doing? Will you be happy? I don't know how long you've been into the South Africa University. 1 year to lose that 1 year. Like I said, you know, 5 years I explored. I quit PhD twice to find my own area, my research area, and then I found it, and then I pursued it. Do you really want to do it? There is a risk in that. You may be successful, you may not be successful, but you have to be prepared for that before you go and respond to him. So these are more of a personal your thinking. You should sit down, think. Again, I always say one thing for me, anybody, I listen to everybody. 95% I listen to everybody. 95% of what they're saying, but I make my decision. My decision will be based on the information I gather from everybody. I make my decision, I stick to it. Whatever the consequence, success or failure, I take it. This is what I would do. I hope I answered your question. Dr. Ganesh, if you have anything else, please. Or Ravi Prakash, if you have any.
Thank you. Thank you
Feel
so
free
much.
to connect with Ms. Yeah, if you have any more questions.
I have asked one more question. How for postdoc, how professor can consider our application? Is it based on publications or our work?
Many things. Yes, yes. This is another question you asked. Yes, there's so many things. Like that's what I said. You know, preparing your resume CV, number one. Number two is the writing a cover letter. So you need to prepare. Let's say you found a professor who does somewhat similar research you are doing. You would like to apply for a postdoctoral position in lab. Then you have to prepare your resume CV properly suitable to that position. And you have to write a cover letter convincing him that, you know, I am the right candidate to do XYZ, what he is doing in his lab, right? These plays a huge important role to grab his attention towards you. Once he grabs your attention, the next stage is the interview process, where you need to convince him. If you don't know some stuff, you frankly say that, hey, I don't know, but I would love to learn this when I enter in your lab. And then I would produce, because I did this in the past. You can give an example, like in the past, this skill I didn't have, but I went and learned from my collaborator. So that's how I can learn and provide this. If you already have the skill, he can get it. But if you don't have the skill, then you can convince him saying this kind of answers in the interview and presentation skill. That's how you approach.
Thank you. Thank you so much for it.
Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening to all faculty members, alumni mentors, and my fellow research scholars. I'm Mrs. Shravanti, and I'm pursuing my research under guidance of Dr. Sarita Reddy Madam. Before I begin, I would like to thank my parent department and also my mentors for taking such initiation in setting up such mentoring program between our alumni members and research scholars. Sir, Dr. Mahender sir, I would like to thank you so much for motivating most of us who are here today by explaining your journey and career build-up in chemistry, sir. My small doubt is that, can you tell me how we can approach you, or through which platform we can associate with you, so that we have solution to our problems what we encounter during our research, sir?
So what platform we connect with you, you say, right?
Yes, sir. Sir.
So, I mean, to me, I respond to my Facebook question. Nowadays, so many questions come for COVID on my Facebook. I respond to there. LinkedIn, a professional network is a LinkedIn, the best platform. You message to anybody, and few people called me to give talks through LinkedIn. I don't know them. One professor from Bengaluru University, she contacted me on a LinkedIn platform. She said, I saw your lecture on COVID-19. Can you give us same for our students and our people? I said, yes, of course. I took it. I mean, so LinkedIn is the best platform. And again, I said, you can find opportunities if you utilize properly, Facebook and Twitter as well.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your answer.
Sir, I would like to
And I
add
think, for
here.
this particular program, the WhatsApp group is there, I guess, right? For mentoring program, the WhatsApp group, you can connect. I mean, I don't know. I'm not connecting independently, individually, through WhatsApp, because there are so many groups, so many messages comes in. I'm
Yes,
I'm not
yes.
sure. I may oversee some of them, but if there is a group, and then at least somebody will ping me, even if I oversee that.
Okay.
Individual WhatsApp is kind of a little overwhelming. That's why, in a professional LinkedIn website, I'm up to date, and it comes particularly from only selected people, not from everybody, right? Because in the WhatsApp, personal, professional, everything is there, and then it's filled. But when it's on a professional network, only professional people will communicate. But through this WhatsApp group, absolutely, this is another opportunity. WhatsApp group also, again, this is a great thing, alumni. I'm happy to be a part of this alumni association. I have to thank Ravi Prakash for making me part of this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your response.
My
Yeah,
pleasure.
Shravanti and all other students, if you want to connect to any mentor, please contact your teachers, Dr. Padmasri and other teachers. They are in contact with us and we will coordinate. So there is no problem. So you can talk to any of our mentors for any of your questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I think that's a good idea, rather than everybody joining into this mentor WhatsApp group. Like, you connect, it divides very well. Like, you connect to your advisor, advisory's connection with us, and then they will assign, there are so many mentors here, they will assign a suitable mentor to you. Or if you request a mentor, I think we have to provide the names of the mentors somehow, like, on a website or something, Dr. Ravi Prakash, probably, to the students, or maybe on the Department of Chemistry website or something, so that they can pick the mentor and then communicate with their advisor, and the advisor will reach out to us, so that we keep the group smaller, so that they get prompt attention. If the group is bigger, then again the attention is going to be diverted.
There is a WhatsApp group for research scholars. You can join there. And we also share our mentor profiles there. We have all the profiles. And also, for every week, our mentors will be presenting their research areas and how they can help you. So you can pick from there which mentor you want based on matching of your research interest with the mentor's research interests, and then you can take it from there. So our teachers are there, your teachers are there to coordinate everything. So you can contact Dr. Padmasri.
Sir, actually, I've posted the link on the chart also now here. They can
Yes.
look into that. Many of them are there in that, and those who have not joined the group can actually join the WhatsApp group. I posted the on the chart here.
And
Please.
there is a separate WhatsApp group for Mahatma Gandhi University also. Dr. Prashanti is coordinating. So please reach out to Dr. Prashanti, who is also OU alumni.
Sir, I have small question. I am from MG Mahatma Gandhi University, organic chemist first year, sir. Sir, according to PhD, I mean abroad or something foreign or our country or our institutions, any campus institutions, financial how can you support from this research group, sir?
So if I understand your question correct, your present research group, how can financially your present research group support for your future postdoctoral studies? Am I correct?
Sir, yes, sir.
So it's a good question. I wouldn't rely on the present group, because your present group is giving a lot of opportunity, right, to do the PhD and everything. I would recommend you to apply for your own fellowships. That I provided some links in here in the chat window already. So the PhD is just not like, making you a technician. You just grow yourself as an independent scientist. You start thinking your own career. You should see your advisor is an advisor to advise you to become independent, but you cannot rely on completely on your advisor totally. That's what not is a PhD. Again, so if you would like to really you apply for a fellowship opportunities, there are so many in India from DST, Department of Science and Technology. CSIR fellowships are there for postdoctoral fellowships, I guess. Council of Scientific Industrial Research, I guess. There's so many other opportunities. So financial, you need to write how to write a proposal from your advisor. That's what is most important for you. Once you know that, then you write your own proposals, you apply for the fellowships. Financial, I mean, the HSS, I think Human Frontiers Science Program, they have, I think, $60,000 a year, for 2 to 3 years support. If you get that fellowship, you go to any country in the world to do your study, to work. Even doctoral fellowships are there. A Wellcome Trust Fund, they have similar type of financial support. What else? So many other opportunities are also there. So, I mean, I would recommend you not to rely on the current group, but you create your own financial support by your knowledge, applying your knowledge, your expertise, and writing these proposals. And somebody is asking, like, how can we, another question here on the chat window is one person is Kuntla Krishnaveni. So she said, sir, I'm doing part-time PhD in organic synthesis. After that, I'm eligible to do postdoc in US. Of course, I mean, I know it's a part-time PhD, even though it's a part-time PhD in organic synthesis. Organic synthesis is a full-time job, right? In general, even though you're doing part-time, it depends on your skill set. So I would recommend you to strengthen your skill set by doing a small postdoc back in India over there in a full scientific institution as a full-time, like, it's a paid fellowship. You can do, like, IICT or any CSIR institution. There are postdoctoral fellowships available. Go and do a full-time for a couple of years, strengthen your skill set, become stronger, then apply for the abroad. If you do a part-time without a skill, you come abroad, and if you are not able to justify the position, then you'll be in a awkward and troublesome situation, right? So you don't want to come to that kind of situation. So strengthen your skill set at home and then come back here. That's what I would recommend. And the other thing people are asking is, can you provide your LinkedIn profiles? You just Google my name, you will find my LinkedIn profile. It's easy. And also I provided in the chat window, but in case if you need it.
Mahender sir, I have a question. Can I ask?
Please, go ahead.
Sir, actually, I do little bit of molecular modeling calculations, and I got the same doubt this Alibaba got. It is like, though these we know experiments are first, and then they are the results where we need to completely rely on. And then this theory or modeling calculations, they give us only they are torchbearers, or they give a direction. Then what is the purpose of doing these modeling? Of course, there are a lot of deviations that arise because of the points you have emphasized before. So then I get a doubt why we are doing these modeling, how far it is appropriate to do.
It's a great question. It's a great question, Dr. Padmavati garu. So I have done a molecular modeling. I'm still doing. Now I'm letting the machines do that stuff. Now, manually, if you're doing it slow. So machine learning came right now. So we let the computer do it. You do it, you can do faster, much faster. So even though, yeah, great point. What is the point if it is not really straight going application, straight, like, not giving 100% result, right? It's a great question. But what I would like to see is, rather than in a dark, blindly trying to find, fishing out something, we have something showing in front of our eyes, right? The crystal structures are there, protein crystal structures, how they look, at least in a static state, not the dynamic. Protein's crystal structure is not exactly what it is in the body, right? It's a dynamic process. The hydrogen bonding formation and the removal it's a dynamic process, right? Not only that, because like I said, we are probably designing the proper compound, exactly matches, perfectly fits in the pocket, binding pocket of that enzyme or protein. But there are so many other processes, other pathways are going in the body. We need to find a compatible, probably one of the hydroxyl group, maybe identified, not hydroxyl, ester group, identified by an esterase enzyme, and immediately it will cleave, and then our compound will be dissolved, right, in the body. So we need to think other things as well, and I think this is a developing science. It's becoming more and more prominent, more and more modified, and I think I'm looking forward in future it's going to get better and better. Because let me give you one example. human genome sequencing started in first human completed in 2003, I think. First human genome. Only 80% of the genome sequenced at that time. In 2020, 100% of the human genome completely sequenced. You see the 20 years gap there. It was only 80% because the technology was not very well developed at that time, but it was there, but it was not very well developed, suitably developed to completely sequence. But in 2020, because of the technological developments and then all these computational process, we gave that opportunity we got, and then we were able to sequence everything, right? So even in the computational algorithms nowadays, recently in the chemical engineering news I read, computers started recognizing the chemical structures. If you write with a handwriting, let's say benzene or terpene or some kind of structure, if you write, computer doesn't know. But now the people developed an algorithm how to identify that. Handwritten structures, not the camera structures. And then they can we're making machines also more intelligent so that they can work much more efficiently, find where we are wrong. Because, like I said, I was exactly the same question in 2010 I designed antiviral. I was working on this HCMA antiviral agent projects. I did the same. I found the scaffold, these protein-protein interaction inhibitors. I found the protein-protein interaction, and then there are 3 amino acids are playing key role. I found the scaffold. I manually added those 3 amino acids to that scaffold, and then I docked back in there, and then I found I did the energy minimization. I found the minimum energy structure. So much happy that, I found some molecule. I synthesized myself, tested, 0. Nothing. Then I realized that's what I've learned by doing it. So then I went back and did the research. Why this is not successful? There are so many things like this. So again, it's a developing chemistry. It's modifying day by day. Maybe 20 years from now, it will be different probably. I hope I answered your question. Probably a long answer.
But thank you very much. Actually, we always, I don't know how to defend ourselves. Like you do something and then you need to defend yourself saying, okay, under these conditions, maybe it is possible. But still that doubt remains as a doubt. Thank you very much for
exactly.
the answers. Nice. Thank you.
Hi, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, this is Naresh from Mahatma Gandhi University, Nalgonda, sir, Telangana.
Go ahead.
Sir, there is
somebody
one question.
mute the other person?
Yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Naresh.
Sir. Sir. Sir, may I know the details about the how much financial amount required for doing PhD in abroad, sir? For the middle class students or below middle class students in organic chemistry or else any other subject?
Yeah, that's a good question. So for doing PhD in abroad or in India, independently, it's a very difficult thing. It's not 1 year or 1 semester or 2 semesters, right? It's about a certain amount of time you dedicate from your life to gain certain number of skills, which requires a certain amount of financial support. Let's say in India, you have X amount, right? And that you convert into the dollars in the US, including the living expenses as well as the research funding expenses like the chemicals and all other expenses, right? So that's why there are mechanisms like fellowships, CSR fellowship in India. Similar to that, there's so many other fellowships to do the doctoral studies in the abroad. Like just now, Sheikh Baba found a fellowship. I'm sure he's on the fellowship at some South Africa University, and then he found another opportunity in Australia, and also in the foreign university like US and Australia and UK, Germany. Independent groups, they have some money, like grant money. They also support the students from their grant money doing the research work. That's another opportunity. But those kind of opportunities you find very rarely. But again, to find a doctoral opportunity in abroad, first you have to qualify some exams like a GRE, like a TOEFL. First, they need to get your proficiency in the language also. So if you are interested in that, there is so much information available. Again, in this mentoring program, absolutely, we will assist.
Okay.
First, you need to make up your mind.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. If there are no further questions, I request Ms. Vijeta from the Research Scholars.
Sir, I have small question.
You have a question? Yeah.
Go ahead.
What is quantum dots and what is the uses and functions of applications of quantum dots? Actually, it is used, I mean, quantum chemistry, I think. Please
Yes,
explain.
I'll answer the question. Sure. The quantum dots, it's a developing chemistry. It's a very novel chemistry. Mostly recently, my knowledge, based on my knowledge, they are used mostly in the detection chemistry, like fluorophore detection. They have a different spectrum, broad spectrum of wavelengths in the UV and I think far red region as well. So, in the fluorescence microscopy, fluorescence detection chemistries, UV detection chemistries, these quantum dots are being started utilizing them, and also even some therapies to in a diagnostics kind of exploration. There is an exploration going on in the diagnostics perspective of these quantum dots. It's a novel chemistry. Yeah, there is a lot of applications are going on. In my knowledge, there are a few are there, like in the diagnostics or in the fluorescence microscopy, some of the therapeutic side, there are there. But if you explore, I mean, again, in the mentors, somebody is an expert in there. If you want to learn more, please reach out to your advisor through that. Come to the mentor group.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay, now may I request Ms. Vijeta to propose a formal vote of thanks to Dr. Mahender Dewal.
Yeah. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah.
Thank you, Padma Shri, ma'am. Today's guest of speaker, Dr. Mahender Dewal, founding member, head of research and product development, expansion technologies, Cambridge, USA. All the dignitaries, all the other mentors, my dear teachers, research scholars, and all the other participants. A very good evening to one and all. I am here to propose vote of thanks on behalf of all our research scholars to Mahender sir, who enlightened us with his elegance of explanation on importance of research and its applications. Sir started his talk about his emotional feel to think about the days he spent in Osmania University campus. Sir focused on the transformation in his journey of research area, saying, never be late to achieve your goal. Sir stated how he learned bacterial cell culture and when he went into MIT, learning about human biology. Sir emphasized how chemistry could be helpful in whichever field we are in. Then Sir spoke about how one can start up to build a career being unique in nature. He emphasized that reading and updating technology could be very much helpful in the research area. He stated that always think big and achieve big. Sir focused on different diagnostic tests used for cancer scans, even on gene therapy. He concluded his talk about building career and either as an academic member or in industrial field or in a governmental area or how to apply abroad. And a special thanks to you, sir, for being patiently answering for all the queries which were put to you. And I extend my heartfelt gratitude, sir, instead of your busy schedule, addressing all of us today with your encouraging and motivational talk. Hope everyone is benefited. A mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope inside yourself. Sir, you really proved this talk. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank my Dr. Haripadma Shri Madam, under whom I am pursuing my PhD. And I would like to thank Department of Chemistry, OU, for giving us this opportunity to come up on this platform and be associated with you. Thank you so much, sir, and thank you one and all. Thank you, Padma Shri ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Vijeta, for your kind words. It is always my pleasure to be connected back with my alumnus. One thing that I would like to say before I go, I was there where you are now, back in the days, before I come to where I am now. Keep that in mind. Not only me, all the mentors in this group, once they were there, and gradually with the patience, with the hard work, you can reach to any goal you want to. That's what I would like to say to my alumnus students, and I'm happy to connect with. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ravi, for introducing me this year. I hope I did the justification. I hope I didn't bore you guys with my personal journey. So thank you. Thank you so much. Very happy to connect with you all.